Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back. I can't believe it's now September, so it's time to talk about our August wrap-ups. I want to know all the books that you guys got finished in August, if you actually completed your TBR, because I did not. I did not. But if you've seen my August tracker that I think I put on Instagram today, maybe I'll put it right here in the video. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. I only got a tracker for 9 spots because I'm like, I'm not going to be able to read more than 9. I got chunky books. Oh yeah, I did. Well, one was a carryover finishing from July, so it had to go in the August, but it was awesome. Yep. And I put some other ones on, but still, I didn't actually finish my TBR because I replaced the last book with a new release. And I was like, I don't have time to do both. I don't have time to do both. And it's okay. I'll get to it eventually. Let's talk about, though, what we read in August and how awesome these books were. Because that's what you're here for. To hear about awesome books. Not to hear me babble about my failures. So, on to the list. First book that I finished in August was A Half-Built Garden by Ruthanna Emrys. I gave this book a 4.25 stars and did a full video review of it, which you should click here if you haven't seen it. Because this book was really good. I listened to the audiobook narration, which is why I don't have a physical copy to show you. Though the design of the book cover was really pretty. It's simplistic pretty, but it was perfect, really. It was perfect for what the book was about. This book, our main character is Judy Wallach Stevens. She is a scientist, kind of, that works for the Chesapeake Bay watershed, which the watershed networks took over pretty much the running of our planet from most governments when, the governments weren't providing answers, weren't taking care of trying to save the planet. The planet went into a huge catastrophe, everybody was almost dead, and people pretty much decided the government shouldn't be in charge, really. They don't know what they're doing, they're not helping the planet, so we are going to. And they did. They started making changes to the planet. They pushed corporations aside. But now, in Judy's time, we have received visitors from outside of our solar system. I think it's outside of our universe, too, if I remember correctly. And they are here to save us. They're very friendly. That's all they want. They want to help save the human race. Because they said, your planet's dying. So we're here to save you. And come join our coalition. Go check out the review, though, as I said, for the full thoughts there. It was a lovely book. It had a lot of important themes through it. And yeah, it was just a very good, lovely time. I enjoyed it so much. So much. My second book for August is Normal People by Sally Rooney. As this book is a few years old, you've probably either heard of it or seen the TV show adaptation to it, which did really well. I enjoyed the book, though, for the way it talked about their thoughts in their head. It was able to show their feelings more, while the TV show is sometimes you got the feelings. It's just all angsty a little bit. But Connell and Marianne grow up in the same small town in West Ireland, but the similarities in there. In school, Connell is popular and well liked, while Marianne is a loner. But when the two strike up a conversation, awkward but electrifying, something life-changing happens. Because they are very, very drawn to each other. At times, it is definitely bad. They're not good for each other, but sometimes they are like the best of friends even when they're not together. The depth of the thoughts in this and how emotional Connell would be, and how Marianne just really, really didn't value herself. She thought she was worthless and stuff like that. You didn't really get that in the show so much. But yes, this was awesome. I'm so glad I read it. My next book for August was a chunker, and that would be Engines of Empire by R.S. Ford. This is the first in the Age of Uprising series that I think Engines of Chaos comes out spring 2023, if I remember right. I don't know, I have to look. This one, though, got a 3.75 stars from me. It was really good on some aspects. We see through 4 different members of the Harkspur Guild family, the Harkspurs themselves, not just people in the family. And it's about, though, the nation of Torwin is run on power of industry, and industry is run by the guilds. Chief among them are the Harkspurs, whose responsibility it is to keep the gears of the empire running. That's exactly why monarch Rosamund Harkspur sends each of her heirs to the far reaches of the nation. Conall, the eldest son, is dispatched to the distant frontier to earn his stripes in the military. It is there that he faces a threat that he could never have seen coming, the first rumblings of revolution. Tyretta is a sorceress with the ability to channel the power of Pyrostone, the magical resource that fuels the Empire's machines. She is sent to the mines to learn more about how Pyrostone is harvested, but instead she finds a dark horrors of industry that the Empire would prefer to keep hidden. Yes, that and her growth as a character, yes, she was awesome. At first, I did not like her because she was kind of thoughtless, and she was against her mom sending her there. Her and her mom didn't get along. The youngest Foreign is a talented artificer and finds himself acting as a guide to a mysterious foreign emissary. Soon after, he is framed for a crime he never committed, a crime that could start a war. Now that, though, yes, like one of these is even like, oh my god, what did this person do? That's going to start a war. Why do they want to start a war? But it doesn't. It doesn't start a war. At least, not right now. They play it into something else. They change it into something else. And it's really, really weird. The magic system in this, as I said, is kind of like the Pyre Stones. They run the machines and everything, so they don't really use electricity. They use these stones that have different colors, and the different colors do different things. They do have electricity, kind of, because they say one of the stones, blue I think, uses electricity. Like it creates the electricity that makes things move. Overall, I'm going to continue this series. I want to know more. Didn't like that we didn't get very much world building. We didn't see too much of the magic system. Well, okay, you saw it a little bit, mostly, but you were very confused by what was happening, as the characters were confused by what was happening, except for the Pyre Stones. I don't know. It was good. I'm definitely going to keep going. I need to know more about it. I need to see what's happening in this world and how some things make sense. So when the next book comes out, I'm going to get it. Sorry, the neighbors decided to start cutting their grass, so I had to pause it, and now we're back, and something itches. Oh my gosh. Hair? I don't know. The fourth book that I read for August, though, was The It Girl by Ruth Ware. This one was audiobooked as well, and it was only like a 3 stars. This was one of my most anticipated releases for July because the premise just sounded so cool, a mystery book. And while she did do something that a lot of them don't do, I could not figure out who it was till the end, which was nice. Everything else just wasn't for me. I'm sorry. Hannah as a character, it was just kind of wishy-washy, and the fact, like, she never went to go get help. She saw this traumatic thing happen, and she never got help. Oh well. But the book, though, is about Hannah, and it is all from Hannah's perspective. It is about her in her first year of college, and her best friend, her roommate, is murdered, and she's the star witness at the trial, and now the book takes place 10 years later as they're finding out that maybe the person who was convicted was not the one that was actually the murderer. And she goes down this spiral of self-doubt and trying to figure out, who the real murderer could have been, talking to her friends, and, her husband doesn't want to, open it up again. And so he's very against it. But, she is several months pregnant, and she does not need this stress. And, so things had happened. Didn't make a lot of sense. The logic behind how the guy was convicted wouldn't have worked. Yeah, mystery-wise, kind of, like the whodunit aspect, that worked. As I said, couldn't figure out who did it until the end, and they didn't even go on a long monologue about why they did it either. So yeah, that was awesome. He even made a joke about that, about he's not going to monologue about his reasons. And my next read, I was able to get the physical copy from my library and listen to the audiobook on Scribd, so being able to do them together was very nice, super enjoyable. I like the setting of this book, and that would be The Book Eaters by Suni Dean. It was a new release for August. It was a 4-star read. It was different than I thought it would be. It was a very dark book. Looked into some things that you wouldn't have expected it to when it's set as like this grim horror-ish fantasy, which really wasn't horror. I've heard some people describe it as like a gothic type fantasy, but I wouldn't feel it's that either. It's just, it has some very dark themes. for sure, and also some interesting things. This book, though, is mostly about our main character, Devon, and how she is a book eater. So that means that this is a race of peoples that they survive on eating books. Girls are fed fairy tales, boys are fed chivalrous tales, naughty children are forced to eat dictionaries. Sometimes, though, the book eater people end up with children born as mind eaters. So they physically can't eat books. They eat minds. And unfortunately, Devon's son was born one of those. And so the book is about her trying to save her son. It doesn't exactly tell you why from the summary, what the circumstances is, why she's having to save her son. I did a full review on this book, though, so you can go check it out, and I hope that you also will check out the book. It's less than 300 pages. It was a good read. The next book would be the third in the Witcher series, which is Baptism of Fire. If you haven't heard of the Witcher series or seen the Netflix adaptation, we mostly follow Geralt, the Witcher, which is a group of people that have been mutated a little bit, and they possess a stronger constitution, slight bit of abilities, able to use runic sorts of magic to be able to fight monsters, and that is their job. Witchers in the world fight the monsters of the world to save people. They don't do it for free. They do it for money, of course. So sometimes people look down on them, and it's a job, kind of, but it's not one that they chose. Because normally Witcher children are gotten when they're little. They are found, adopted, however, and trained from when they're little to adults to be Witchers, because of course, having to fight monsters, you would need lots of training. But following Geralt and his on and off again love, Yennefer, who is a sorceress in this magical realm where war is breaking out, things are happening, forces are moving against each other everywhere. If you heard me talk about the book 2, though, I did not like the ending of book 2, where our third main character, Cirilla, Princess of Cintra, also known as Ciri, who now she's about a teenager-ish, and I didn't like how the second book ended for her. I felt it was very unfair for her character, as she had grown so much, she'd been through so much, and yet then she's there. This one was nice. I'm going to continue the series now, because I was almost not going to continue the series after book 2. But I'm going to keep going. This one worked better. This one definitely worked better with 4 stars. And the second book that I worked into my TBR that was a new release for August, that was not actually on the TBR. This is the copy I got from my library the day I finished the audiobook, because of course. But the first binding by R.R. Verity, maybe that was right, is a high fantasy novel, and it was awesome. I did a full review for it. Here, I think I covered a lot of things without actually saying spoilers this time. Hopefully everybody will enjoy that review and go check it out. On the review, though, I said it was a 4.25 stars. On my notes for that video, and on the spreadsheet that I have been using for the past few months, it also said 4.5, both those places. I'm no longer sure why I said 4.25 in there. I'm sure I had a reason. I don't know. But we'll read this, because this snippet description is super short. All legends are born of truths and just as much lies. These are mine, judge me for what you will. But you will hear my story first. I buried the village of Ampor under a mountain of ice and snow. Then I killed their god. I've stolen old magics and been cursed for it. I started a war with those who walked before mankind and lost the princess I loved and wanted to save. I've called lightning and bound fire. I am legend and I am monster. My name is Ari, and this is the story of how I let loose the first evil. I like Ari as a character very much. I don't know. This was amazing. I love this book. I hope that he will continue the series and we will get to find out all the bits. Yes. So please go check out my review video for all the full thoughts, summary. Yes, it's definitely much more in depth. The last one that was actually on the TBR of what I was supposed to read is The Color of Magic by Terry Pratchett. This is the first in the Discworld series, and in the beginning there was a turtle. Somewhere on the frontier between thought and reality exists the Discworld, a parallel time and place which might sound and smell very much like our own, but which looks completely different. particularly as it's carried through space on the back of a giant turtle, sex unknown, which is for some reason important. It plays by different rules. It's on the back of a turtle, kind of. It's a turtle, 4 giant elephants riding on the turtle, and then the disc world sits on top of the elephants' backs. And they can literally see off the rim of their world where the oceans go down, and they can see the turtle. But yeah, their whole concept of science is very much different because they can see off the edge of their world into a space. It's just super interesting. It was a very good time. It was a 4 stars again because it was funny. I thought it was funny. I get their humor. It was... So instead of chapters, it's broken into different sections of his story. As we're following Rincewind from his home city, as he is a failed wizard, kind of. He knows one spell, and that because he knows one spell, he can't learn any other spells. But he somehow comes across our other character of Two Flowers, who is the first tourist to this area from a whole nother continent on the disc that most people didn't know or believe existed because it's so very, very far away. Okay. But we follow them two from that main city through their travels together as they're just, yeah, he can't seem to get rid of Two Flowers. It is a hilarious, very hilarious. My last new release for this month, which technically comes out in September. Thank you, NetGalley, for letting me get the arc of this early. And that would be The Children of Gods and Men by Shauna Lawless. I really adored what she did here. She mixed real life history with mythology, and it just worked great. It is set in ancient Ireland. I think it was 982. I'm going to read the description because I'm going to do a full review video of this that will come out next week. Something like that. It's a 3.75 stars. Read for me because I did have some issues with it. It's mostly politically driven. I don't know. They think they've killed the Last of Us. 980-180. That's the... Okay. The Viking King of Dublin is dead. His young widow, Gormaflaith, names will be wrong, has ambitions for her son and herself, but Ireland is a dangerous place and the kings tend not to stay kings for long. She has a secret. She is one of the Fomorians, an immortal race who can do fire magic. She has kept her powers hidden at all costs, for there are other immortals in this world, like the Tuatha De Danann, a race of warriors who are sworn to kill Fomorians. Floda, also may be wrong, is one of the Tuatha De Danann with the gift of healing. Her kind dwell in a hidden fortress forbidden to live amongst the mortals. Floda agrees to help her kin by going to spy on Brian Burrow, a powerful man who aims to be High King of Ireland. She finds a land on the brink of war, a war she is desperate to stop. However, preventing the loss of mortal lives is not easy with Ireland in turmoil and the Fomorians now on the rise. So that description is really what drew me into it because it sounds really awesome. I love the mythology aspect of it. I wanted to know more. So I will have all of that in my review video. Please go check it out when it comes up. Because yeah, I can't put a card because I haven't actually posted it yet. So I can't put a link. Oh well, please check it out. Now, the last book of this month is one that I was actually reading all month long with my son because it was his first read of it since he's turning 11 years this year on the July 31st. We started the first book, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by, J.K. Rowling. We don't have to talk about her. But the books are still good. The books are still super enjoyable. I love the magic. I love that he got to go into it and he said he likes the magic and the school and some things. We're going to watch the movie for it soon because he wants to compare the book and the movie. And hopefully he'll continue the series and love it. Or at least like it. I don't know. I actually get the TBR finished this month, but I've read, all of these. I worked in 3 new books, but I was short by 1 book of actually rolled TBR, a chunky book. And I'm wondering if I should start putting consequences on myself. Okay, you didn't finish it. Like you said you would. So should there be consequences? You guys vote. Let me know down below, what your thought process is on that. Have you finished your August TBR? Or were you a little bit off like me? If you've made your September list of books, please let me know if some of them are going to be the same as what I'm reading. Lots of BookBok books this month. We're catching up on those. I did my September TBR video, so you can check it out and see if you've read them too. Special announcement though. Please please, if you have entered the Fairy Loot Box giveaway, or if you haven't heard about it, go to my Fairy Loot unboxing, enter within the next 24 hours, because I will be doing the drawing tomorrow and announcing it on Monday. So if you've entered, please make sure to watch Monday's video. If you haven't entered, go to the Fairy Loot video, check out the rules, enter, and then if you don't know what box I'm talking about, watch my June Fairy Loot unboxing to see all the goodies and books that were in the box, because they were gorgeous words again, Morgan. Books. They're just so pretty, as most Fairy Loot boxes are. But yes, please check out that video, enter to the win. We have 20, 30-ish hours, and I will do the drawing and tell you who the winner is, to say thank you for getting so many subs. I want to do a giveaway for you guys, so please enter to win so I can give it away. And if you were the lucky winner, please contact me so that I can give you this. And I'm thinking of so many ideas for the next giveaway when that comes around. I hope you guys are finding something awesome to read and relaxing on this holiday weekend, at least for those of us in America. And for those of you who are not, I hope that your weekend is going great anyway, and that you're just having a good start of September. Finding something awesome to read. All of you, I'm probably starting a new book today, of an undetermined which one it is from the TBR. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great weekend. Bye, guys.